Good morning, guys. Welcome to the new session. I think in the last class we were discussing about empirical formula, molecular formula, and the method of determination of empirical formula as well as molecular formula of different compounds. Along with that, we have also discussed the stoichiometric calculation, how to establish the weight-to-weight relation, weight to volume, right? Volume to mass, etc. relations we have been seeing. And in this class, we are going to discuss about an important concept such as percentage purity as well as percentage E, and we will see the units of concentration, different methods of units of concentration of solutions we are going to discuss. We will start with the percentage purity of the compound. That is percentage purity. Let's see what is meant by the percentage purity. Right? A given compound may or may not be 100% pure. That means the given substances may be associated with impurities also. And until otherwise mentioned, these impurities are assumed as inert. They do not participate in any chemical reaction until otherwise mentioned. Right? For example, if you are say 100 grams of NaOH of 100% purity, what is mean by this? That means entirely 100 grams will be what? All the 100 grams will be of NaOH. Suppose if I say 100 grams of NaOH of 80% purity, what is mean by this? It indicates that among these 100 grams of NaOH, it will be around 80 grams will be NaOH and remaining 20 grams will be impurities. What it is? Impurities. Right? So for this purpose, it is very essential to determine the percentage purity of a compound. Now let us see. So from this, what may we conclude? A given substance, any substance, may not 100% pure. That means it may associated with impurities. Importantly, until otherwise mentioned, impurities are inert. Impurities are inert. What is mean by inert? They do not participate in chemical reaction. They do not participate in chemical reaction. If it participates in chemical reaction, it will be interfering with the product. Now, how to determine the percent purity? Basically, the percent purity of a substance is determined by weight of substance reacted upon weight of the substance given into 100. Simply we write it as, by using this relation we can calculate the percentage purity of a given substance. For example, let's discuss this with a question. Right? 50 grams of calcium carbonate gives 17.6 grams of carbon dioxide on decomposition. Calculate percentage purity of calcium carbonate. Here we say that when 50 grams of calcium carbonate is thermally decomposed, it gives 17.6 grams of carbon dioxide, and from this data it is asking us to calculate the percentage purity of the calcium carbonate. First of all, let us try to write the reaction of thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate. When calcium carbonate is heated, it will decompose into calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. If what he has given the weight of carbon dioxide form. How much it is formed? 17.6 grams. Alright. From this, can we calculate the number of moles of carbon dioxide formed? Yeah, of course we can calculate the number of moles of carbon dioxide. How to calculate the number of moles of carbon dioxide formed? When you divide this mass obtained with molecular mass of carbon dioxide, you will get the number of moles. What is the molar mass of carbon dioxide? 44. So how many moles it comes? It comes 0.4 moles. Now, from this balanced equation, what we can understand, 1 mole of calcium carbonate on decomposition gives 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Right? From the balanced equation, we can say that. What we can say? Right? 1 mole. 1 mole of calcium carbonate gives 1 mole carbon dioxide. If 1 mole gives 1 mole, then what about 0.4 moles of carbon dioxide will be obtained by how many moles of calcium carbonate? From this relation we can say it will also has to be 0.4 mole. Right? Are you getting this? I have calculated the number of moles of calcium carbonate participated in the reaction from the number of moles of carbon dioxide formed. If it forms 0.4 moles of carbon dioxide, how many moles of calcium carbonate might have reacted? If 1 mole gives 1 mole, 0.4 moles must be come from 0.4 moles of calcium carbonate. From this can we calculate weight of calcium carbonate reacted. How to calculate this weight of calcium carbonate reacted? Here, if you multiply number of moles of calcium carbonate participate in the reaction into its molar mass. What is the molar mass of calcium carbonate? Molar mass of calcium carbonate is 100. So, what is the weight of calcium carbonate reacted? 40 grams. And what is the weight of calcium carbonate given? How much it is given? The question it is given 50 grams. Out of 50 grams, how many grams is getting participated in the reaction? Only 40 grams. So what is the formula for the percentage purity? Percentage purity is equal to weight reacted upon weight given into 100. So what is the weight reacted? 40 grams. What is the weight given? 50 grams into 100. How much it comes? It comes to be 80% pure. What is meant by this? What we can conclude? Out of 50 grams of calcium carbonate, only 40 grams is getting participated in the reaction. How we know that only 40 grams has been participated? So from the given weight of carbon dioxide, we have calculated the number of moles of carbon dioxide produced. From the number of moles of carbon dioxide produced, we have calculated the number of moles of calcium carbonate participate in the reaction. If you know the number of moles of calcium carbonate participate in the reaction, from this you can calculate the weight of calcium carbonate participate in the reaction, which you get by multiplying number of moles participated into molar mass, which comes to be 40 grams, and the question is mentioned that 50 grams is undergoing reaction, so that from this we can calculate the percentage purity of calcium carbonate is found to be 80%. Right? Hope it is clear. Another type of questions can also be asked from this particular concept. Here we have calculated percentage purity. Sometimes percentage purity will be given, and you may ask the amount of reactant participating in the reaction or amount of product produced in the reaction. We will also see an example of second type of question. That is, for example, let us discuss. Calculate the weight of any which required to react with 200 grams of HCl of 73% purity. Try to understand the question. He is asking us to calculate the weight of any which required to react with the 200 grams of HCl of 73% pure. What is mean by this? right? Here HCl is, what is the weight given? Weight of HCl given is how much it is? 200 grams. And its percentage purity is given. What is the percentage purity? 73. And what we can calculate from this? We can calculate it weight of HCl reacted, isn't it? How to calculate this? We know that the percentage purity of HCl is equal to weight of HCl reacted upon weight of HCl given. Right? So here how much it is given? It is given 73. Right? And we have to calculate it weight of HCl reacted, and we have given the 200 grams. So from this, what about this weight of HCl reacted? HCl reacted comes to be 73 into 2, which comes to be 146 grams. Right? Out of 200 grams, how many grams of HCl is undergoing reaction? 146 grams. From this, can we calculate the number of moles of HCl reacted? We can calculate what is the form? Mass of reacted upon molar mass of HCl. How many more grams is reacted? For 146 grams. What is the molar mass of HCl? Molar mass of HCl is 36.5. So how many moles it comes? It comes to be 4 moles. So from the balanced equation, what we can write from the balanced equation? If you write the chemical reaction between HCl and NaOH, what it gives? It gives NaCl plus water it gives. This is the balanced equation. How many moles of HCl is getting reacted? 4 moles. If 4 moles of HCl is undergoing reaction, how many moles of NaCl? 4 moles of HCl undergoing reaction. How many moles of NaOH is required? 4 moles of NaOH is required. Right? Number of moles of NaOH required is 4. If the number of moles of NaOH required is 4, then what is the weight of NaOH required? Weight of NaOH can be calculated from number of moles of NaOH into molar mass of NaOH. What is the molar mass of NaOH? Number of moles of NaOH into molar mass. It is required 4 moles and molar mass of NaOH is 40. From this, how many grams it is required? 160 grams of NaOH is required. This is another way of asking questions from the percentage purity, from the concept of percentage purity. Sometimes you may be asked to calculate the percentage directly, or sometimes you may be asked by giving the percentage purity, you may be asked to calculate the required amount of reactant or corresponding amount of product produced. This is another way of asking questions from the concept of percentage purity. Hope this is clear. Right? First I have calculated the weight of HCl reacted. Right? From this you can calculate the number of moles of HCl reacted. If you know the number of moles of HCl required, you can calculate the number of moles of NaOH required. If you know the number of moles of NaOH required, from this you can calculate the weight of NaOH required. Now we will see another important concept. Percentage yield. Another important concept is that percent yield. Percent yield means basically it is calculated. Percent yield is equal to actual yield upon theoretical yield. Theoretical yield we also call it as a calculated yield into 100. Or it may be also given as a percentage yield will be equal to experimental yield upon theoretical yield, or actual yield or calculated yield. Right? Now here basically the theoretical yield, or it is also called as calculated yield. Calculated yield is calculated from balanced chemical equation, and whereas actual yield or experimental yield. Experimental yield is either given or asked to calculate in the problem. Are you getting this? Either actual yield must be given in the question, or you may ask to calculate the actual yield by giving the percentage yield. Right? Now let us see with an example. Assume that we have a question. Sulfur dioxide 12.8 grams of sulfur dioxide on reaction with 3.2 grams of oxygen gives 6 grams of sulfur trioxide. 6 grams of sulfur trioxide. Calculate percentage yield. Percent yield of the reaction. So first of all, let us write the balanced equation. Right? Basically, take 2 moles. It gives 2 moles of this one. Right? Now, what is saying in the question? In the question, he said that 6 grams. Right? 6 grams of what is this? He said that 12.8 grams is undergoing reaction with 3.2 grams of oxygen. Right? If 12.3 grams of sulfur dioxide is getting combined with 3.2 grams of oxygen, how many grams of sulfur trioxide is expected? It's just a combination of these two. 12.8 plus 3.2, it should give 16 grams. It should give how many grams? 16 grams of sulfur trioxide. But according to the law of conservation of mass. Now, how many grams is said to be obtained in the reaction? 6 grams. Right? Simple calculation. What is the formula for the percentage purity? This is called theoretical yield. What is this called? Theoretical yield, or we say that calculated. What is this? This is the actual yield or experimental yield. So what is the percentage purity? Percentage purity is equal to actual yield upon theoretical yield, which comes to be actual yield is equal to how much it is. So from this, what we can say that percentage purity is equal to 6 by 16 into 100. How much it comes? It comes to be around 37.5%. It comes. This is how you have to calculate the percentage yield of reaction. And another way of asking the question is that by giving the percentage purity of the reaction, you may be asked to calculate the actual yield. The questions can also be framed in another way. You may be given the percentage purity and you have to calculate the theoretical yield from the balanced equation, and you may be asked to calculate the actual yield. Right? This is another way of asking the question from percentage yield. Hope it is clear. Now, we'll see the last concept of this particular chapter, that is units of concentration. Right? Basically, these units of concentration are given for solution. First of all, you should know what is meant by solution. Solution generally means solution is a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture of two or more than two substances. Right? There are different types of solutions. Right? Solution basically contains two components. What are the two components? One will be, if you are talking about the components of solution, it basically contains two components. One will be called solvent, other will be called as solute. What is meant by solvent? the component presenting higher amount in a solution will be called as solvent. Component presenting lower amount and lesser amount will be called as solute. Right? Depending upon the number of compounds involved in the participation of solution, solutions are of different types, such as binary solution, tertiary solutions, quaternary solutions. This is depending upon the number of components present in solution. Right? Now, based on the concentration, solutions are of two types. Based on the concentration, solutions can be classified into two types: concentrated solutions as well as dilute solutions. Now let us see what is meant by concentration. Concentration basically tells us how much amount of solute is present in a given solution. The amount of solute present in a given solution is basically expressed in terms of concentration. Right? Basically, concentration is equal to either mass or number of moles or value of solute upon mass or value of solution, or it may be solvent. Right? It gives the number of either mass or number of moles or value of solute present in a given mass or value of a solution, or it may be solvent. There are basically two types of concentration. If you are talking about the units of concentration, actually our discussion is about units of concentration. There are different types of units to express the concentration. Right? These are also called as concentration terms. These are of two types. Right? One will be called as temperature dependent units. Another will be called as temperature independent. Right? So that means the concentration unit which will depend upon the temperature. By changing the temperature, if the concentration changes, those are called as temperature dependent. By changing the temperature, if the concentration does not changes, then they are called as temperature independent. Basically, units such as percent value by value and percent weight by value and molarity and normality are basically temperature dependent concentration units, because all of this basically involves value. By changing the temperature, what happens? Value changes. If you increase the temperature, value increases, concentration decreases. If you decrease the temperature, value decreases, concentration increases. So these type of concentration units depends upon the temperature, and we call them as temperature dependent. There is another type which is called as temperature independent, such as weight percent, or otherwise we can say molarity, and otherwise we can say mole fraction. Right? What will be parts per million. These are all different concentration units that are used to express the concentration of a given solution. We'll see one by one. Let's see the first one. What is the first one? Percent value. What is meant by percent value? It basically indicates volume of solute. It basically indicates volume of solute in ml, in milliliter, present in 100 ml of solution, where it is 100 ml of solution. Then means what is the formula? Percent value by value is equal to volume of solute in, what is this? ml upon volume of solution in ml into 100. Here volume of solution is basically equal to volume of solute plus volume of solvent right? For example, if we say calculate the percent volume by volume of a solution made by 30 ml of ethyl alcohol in 45 ml of water, right? What is the volume of solute? Volume of solute is given 30 ml, right? What is the volume of water given? 45 ml. So what will be the V solution? V solution will be equal to 30 plus 45, which comes to 75. So what is the form? Percent volume by volume will be equal to 30 upon 75 into 100, right? It goes right, 25 4s are 25 3s are. Now how much it comes? It comes to 40%, right? Now this is how you have to calculate the percentage value of a given solution. Now what is the second term? Second term is percent weight by value. Percent weight by value. What does this mean? It basically indicates weight of solute in grams present in 100 ml of solution. 100 ml of solution. That means percent weight by value will be equal to weight of solute in grams upon volume of solution into 100. Right? For example, you may be given like what is mean by. If I ask what is mean by 30% urea solution, aqueous solution of urea. 30% aqueous solution of urea. What is this? Aqueous solution of urea. What is mean by this? It basically means that 30 grams of urea is present in 100 ml of water. This is the meaning of it, right? And what is the third one? Third one we call it as molarity. Molarity is basically represented with capital A. Molarity is basically defined as number of moles of solute present in. We already studied all these terms in solutions chapter. Once again we are revising it briefly. In 1 liter solution, where it is 1 liter solution. Basically, it can be expressed in terms of number of moles is generally denoted with N by V in liters. Volume of solution in liters. Or otherwise, it also expressed in number of moles into 1000 upon volume of solution in ml, right? Or otherwise, it may also be expressed, molarity will be, if you replace this N, what is N? Number of moles. How to calculate number of moles? Mass upon molar mass. It is basically whose number of moles it is. Is it solute, solvent or solute? It is basically solute. So we can also replace this weight of solute upon molar mass of solute into 1000 by volume of solution in ml or it where WB stands for weight of solute, where MB stands for molar mass of solute. Right? This is the formula of molarity of a solution. Now, let us see what is meant by 1 molar solution. Basically, we come across with several times such as 1 molar solution. What is meant by 1 molar solution? 1 molar solution basically stands that 1 mole of solute in 1 liter of solution. In the same manner, there is one more term which is called semi-molar. Semi-molar solution. Let us see what is meant by semi-molar solution. Semi-molar solution stands that 1/2 moles of solute in 1 liter of solution. There is another term which is called pentimolar solution. Pentimolar solution means 1/5 moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution. The same manner, there is another term which is called decimolar solution. What is meant by decimolar solution? 1/10 moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution. Right? Now, this is about the molarity. And what is the other term? Fourth term is called normality. What is meant by normality? As you have already studied all these terms in chapter of solution, I am not going into the details. I just want to, because there are some problems in this current chapter also based on the concept of concentration terms. Because of that reason only I am giving a brief explanation about the formulas of different concentration units. Since you have already studied that in the solution chapter, I am not getting into the more details. Right? Being the time factor, as it is a revision, I understand that you already learn all these things. Right? Now, normality is nothing but number of gram equivalents. Number of gram equivalents present in 1 liter solution. What is it? 1 liter solution. Basically, normality is denoted with capital A. It indicates that number of gram equivalents. Number of gram equivalents upon volume of solution in liters. Or otherwise, we can also write normality will be equal to number of gram equivalents into 1000 upon volume of solution in ml, or number of gram equivalents can be represented with weight of solute upon equivalent mass of solute into 1000 by volume of solution in ml. This is another form. Right? Here also the same thing. What is meant by one normal solution? One normal solution stands for presence of 1 gram equivalent of solute in 1 liter solution. Right? Semi-normal in the sense present of 1/2 gram equivalents of solution in 1/2 gram equivalents of solute in 1 liter solution. So the same criteria can be applicable for the normality also. And if you are talking about the relationship between normality and molarity, the relationship can be given as the relation between molarity and normality is generally given that normality is equal to molarity into n. What is n here? Where it is called n factor. What is meant by n factor? N factor is nothing but either it can be basicity of acid or acidicity of base, or number of electrons transferred in a redox reaction, or charge carried by cation or anion. As you already studied about the n factor, I am not getting into the details of n factor. Right? Hope you remember it. Now, what is this second type of? That is, the second category, the first percent weight by weight. Nothing but it is generally defined as weight of solute in grams present in 100 grams of solution. So what will be the formula? Percent weight by weight equal to weight of solute in grams upon what is this? Weight of solution in grams into 1000. Right? And what is meant by mole fraction? Mole fraction means here sometimes you may be given the relation between percent weight by volume and percent weight by weight. It will be equal to percent weight by weight into D, density. Have you taken? What is this? Density. This is the relationship between it. So if you want to get the value, you should multiply weight with the density. This is a relation between percent weight by value of percent weight by weight. Second we say mole fraction. What is mole fraction? Mole fraction is that it is a ratio of number of moles of substance to total number of moles. Suppose if you assume the number of moles of solute as Nb, number of moles of solute as Na, and the total number of moles are nothing but Na plus Nb. This mole fraction of solute or mole fraction of solute it is represented with Xp. It stands for, what is this? Mole fraction of solute is equal to number of moles of solute upon total number of moles. Whereas if you want the number of moles of solvent, it will be mole fraction of solvent will be equal to number of moles of solvent upon total number of moles. Now always remember that the total number of moles, summation of mole fraction of all the components of solution should be equal to unit. Right? The summation of mole fraction of all the components of a solution must be equal to unity. Right? This is about the mole fractions. What is another one we call? The third one is molality. What is meant by molality? Molality is basically represented with the small m. It is the number of moles of, what is this? Number of moles of solute present in 1 kg of solvent it is. What is this? 1 kg of solvent. So I will give the directly formula that number of moles into what is this? Weight of solvent in kg. Or otherwise, the molality will be equal to what is this? Weight of solute upon molar mass of solute into 1000 upon what is this? Weight of solvent, this solvent not solution, in grams. Right? This is about the formula for the calculation of molalities. Now if you see some special relation between molality and molarity. Relation between molarity and molarity is that molality is equal to 1000 into molarity upon 1000 into density into minus molarity molar mass of solute is. What is this? Molar mass of solute. This is the relationship between the molarity and molality. Right? What is clear? So these are some general formulas that we use in the calculations of concentration of solution. This makes the completion of synopsis part of the first chapter, and the next class onwards we will see the objective questions of different levels of the chapter 1. That's all for today. Thank you.